Welcome to the South Texas Amateur Tour Podcast, The Power Hour, with your hosts, Travis Salkowski, Dustin Hassan, Casey Graham, Jason Bird, and Michael Germanuelian. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It is March. Sorry, I almost said February there. It is March 7th, 2023. It is Tuesday night. It is 8:30, and that means it is time for the South Texas Amateur Golf Tour Power Hour with your boy, MD, and of course, joining me as always, Travis Salkowski.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
PGA Professional. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. It is March the 7th. It is 8:32. This would be episode 9 of season 2. Is that correct?
Episode 9 of season 2.
Episode 9 of season 2. Who would have thought we'd have seasons? I mean, this is so great. We got a shorter off week show planned for this evening, and when I say planned, I mean MD sent out the text message and nobody looked at it, and It's just me and MD tonight. So
per the usual.
Yes.
Well, welcome everyone. As Travis said, kind of a quick night. Going to talk a little bit about in preview Mission Del Lago. Got a really fun event this weekend, as always, and Mission Del Lago is going to be in great shape for us. Talk a little bit about some of the open events that are for registration right now. Maybe tease something exciting a little bit here coming up in the next month or so. But before we do that, before we jump into all that, you know what, Trav? I realize it's been almost a week since we said something nice about Paradigm. I didn't get to play this weekend. I was on daddy duty, which, don't get me wrong, was a lot of fun. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna pull it up here. I missed my wife considerably, but at the same time, I never had taken Emma to the driving range before.
Oh, terrific.
So it was
so fun when you go for the first time. You know?
It was stressful as all get out because I couldn't hit a shot. Like, she sat in her stroller, then she's like, okay, I'm done sitting in this shit. I want to go like hang out and stand near you. And eventually she sat herself down and was feeding me golf balls as I hit. And I had the other dads that were there with their kids. Hi, baby. Had the dads that were there getting away from their kids, like, oh shit, you got that kid trained pretty good. I was like, you know it.
And it was her first time. You know, that first time is really cool. I remember Kaylin was 4 or 5 years old when the trail took over Northern Hills, and I was the first trail golf professional at Northern Hills. This was 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. And Kaylin was 4 or 5, and she was coming with me, and she'd do really good on the putting green, and she'd do really good checking in and really good on the range. And the minute we teed off on hole number 1 at Northern Hills and got to the pond and there were ducks, it was over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think she's only she's not even 3. So she was feeding me golf balls. I did get a video or two of her. I don't have an actual set of clubs for her. So she grabbed one of my irons and was kind of slapping it like a hockey stick. But she was making good contact. She even did it with my driver off the tee, and she was hitting it and having a good time. And so, I mean, I've said it before. I'm never going to like push her to golf, but she saw me doing it. She had fun. And I'm, now it's even today. I was like, hey, what do you want to do this afternoon? She said, golf.
I mean, I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing.
Perfect.
This statement is from a couple years ago, and it was from a Division I female golf coach in the state of Texas. The number 1 unused NCAA Division I scholarship is women's golf.
Absolutely. That is that was probably one of the first things I said to Cindy when I found out that we were having a girl. I was like, perfect. If she wants to play golf and I can get her interested in golf, we got college taken care of. I was like, we're good. And that is what we're doing. I just ordered her a putter and I ordered her a little driver. She's going to do more. It's kind of the same way, I think, in my experience and just working with junior golf and stuff like that. It's start them out in the short game, let them putt, let them chip. And then as she gets older and stuff like that, we'll work on the other stuff. But she's itching to go back. But I couldn't, it was terrible. I'm trying to hit golf balls and she's standing behind me. I'm just trying to make sure I don't clock this kid. And I hit every shot, just felt terrible. Yes. And I left there. Yeah. I left there thinking like, oh my God, I've lost it. I was hitting the ball so great. What happened? And she stayed the night at grandma's. I got up at like 7:30. I was at the range at 8, and I was at the course. I was at my local course for 3 hours, hitting golf balls and putting and chipping and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, it was just her. I was just paranoid.
It was just her.
Absolutely,
it was her fault. It wasn't me. It was her.
I was like, the last thing I want to do is her mom to come home and ask me why she's got the outline of a golf club on her face because I clocked her.
Teaching kids in clinic settings or in big range settings like that is scary. I mean, it's scary. I mean, anything could go wrong at any time.
And I was at the far end of the range, so there was no one around or anything like that. And I was just trying to trying to we go other people hitting. She'd see someone hit the golf ball and she'd clap and stuff like that. Like the guy who was like 2 spots down hit a drive, and Emma said nice and clapped, and that guy's like, I made his day.
I mean, that's perfect. I mean, that's a great little cheerleader going around. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that's terrific. Good for you.
So I got some time in with my paradigms. How I know you played golf this weekend. How did that go?
I got to play again this weekend. First time this year. I played back-to-back weekends. That's a big deal for me. So I played Sunday afternoon with Jason Bird and Dustin Hassan and Casey Graham. And as you can see, I beat them so bad they didn't show up tonight. Well, pow. But no, really like the paradigm. And a good friend of mine called last week after the show, and he said, hey, dude, easy on the Callaway commercials. So I won't toot the Callaway horn too hard tonight, but I'll tell you what, it's good. I hit it past Jason Bird a couple times again this past weekend, and which is a big deal for me. I don't hit it very far anymore, but I gained a bunch of distance off of accuracy on the paradigm, and center of the club face equals more speed and less spin with the paradigm. And all of a sudden I'm there with Casey and Jason Bird, and now Dustin is way back. It's great. I love it. And it's every time. So,
and yet, I had Emma, and so I did not get to play. So my whole request was, guys, I would like to have hole by hole updates. I need to know who's doing what. And,
I'll tell you what, that's sure shit. That's fun when you're playing good, but man, it definitely sucks when you're not playing good.
Like, you had no problem shooting me a text message like, Trav here, Casey here, Dustin here. Like, the rest of them are just dead silent on that group chat.
It was super fun. Yes, especially when I was playing pretty well and beating them all. So it was fun to send you play-by-play updates, you know?
Yep. But,
TPC, we played at TPC. TPC Canyons is in absolute awesome shape right now. Super good. And I'll tell you what, we played from the back box. And TPC Canyons is hard. TPC Canyons is hard. I don't care people say what they say about the Oaks, and then TPC Canyons gets this easy, same property. It's just the other course. But I'll tell you what, that shit was hard from 72 and a half. 73. I don't know how far it is. If Jason was here, he'd fact check me. But it's difficult from back there.
I said it last time we played Canyons. I'm like, I think Oaks is easier than Canyons. The Oaks suits my eye line so much better. I just feel way more comfortable going out to the Canyons, even playing from one or two tees up. I'm just like, nope, doesn't look right to me. I can't. Like, it's a tough. It's a tricky course. The elevation changes there a little bit more, and there's a little bit more blind shots and some cool shots in there. But I'm just happy that they're in great conditions right now, especially as we're getting closer to Valero and everything like that. And
there were grandstand set up and office buildings set up, and it feels cool. Yeah, it really does.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love the fact that we all live in a town that hosts a PGA event. I think that's really cool.
Yep, absolutely. So, Trav, let's dive in a little bit here into Mission del Lago. Want to talk about course conditions a little bit, just kind of some of the feedback we've gotten. Talk a little bit about the Facebook post that we made.
Yeah.
Just talking about the hardest tee shot, hardest approach, favorite tee shot there. There seemed to be a consistent answer.
There was definitely a consistent answer on some of the holes there. But first and foremost, we are talking about South Texas Amateur Golf Tour Alamo City Golf Trail Division Spring Event number 5, March 12th. That's this Sunday. This event was originally slated, and most of y'all's receipts will say Willow Springs. It was moved from Willow Springs to Mission del Lago because of winter course conditions at Willow being a little subpar. We wanted to give every golfer the best possible tournament experience we can, and in conjunction with our partners at the trail, moved down to Mission del Lago, which is arguably the best condition trail course right now. We're getting credible sources coming back saying Mission's greens are great. Mission's fairways are full. Mission's fairways are best on the trail. Lots of solid stuff about Mission del Lago. So super happy to go there.
I saw a lot of pictures this weekend. Jeremy Semlinger, Chris Espinoza, a bunch of other golfers that were out there this weekend playing, and the pictures looked. The course itself looked great. The greens looked great. I know we got Stephen Evans who went out and played and gave a lot of good feedback. The course is by all accounts in pretty fantastic shape. So it's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
But yes, Facebook post today, we were talking about hardest tee shots and favorite shots. Was favorite shots one of it? It was hardest.
It was kind of, it's what do you think the hardest tee shot is out on the course? What might be like the hardest kind of approach shot in? And then what kind of like your favorite tee shot is? And the big takeaway, everyone seemed to, it really was, hardest tee shot was number 7.
Yeah.
Number 1 and 10 were kind of like the big 3, but number 7 seemed to get the most.
Well, we talk about it every time we go to Mission del Lago about how freaking hard hole number 1 plays, right? And hole number 1 feels like it's 25 yards narrower now. So it's, out of bounds left, out of bounds right. And it just, that's just a towering tee shot. It's going to be into the wind on Sunday. By the way, the weather looks phenomenal for Sunday. Highs in the 80s, winds out of the northwest. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, kind of into the wind. I think that's great. I'm just gonna hang out and keep talking about Mission Del Lago. I can see the comments. I can't pull any comments in. So if anybody is there and wants to talk about Mission, oh, there, MD's back.
Sorry, Emma's sitting in the chair across from me, and there's this little spot. So, like, here's the back, here's the seat, and she's like, I'm going to see if I can fit through the middle of it. And she's sitting there going, like, her head is just
she's stuck.
in there, and she's
perfect.
stuck.
It's perfect.
So, perfect, I'm back.
I want you to know that it is very scary all of a sudden being on the screen by yourself. You did a show last month by yourself. Freaking props to you, bro. That was terrifying. I didn't like that at all.
I can talk all day long if you give me an audience. I'll never shut up. But, I mean,
man, 11. All of a sudden you disappeared, and I freaked out a little bit.
Well,
I'm so glad you're here.
Baby wedged. Thank God I could save her. But yeah, I mean,
we were talking about number 1 being a tough tee shot, but I am fascinated by hole number 7. I don't think 7's a tough tee shot at all.
I don't either. I think a lot of people. I definitely understand people on number 1. I think Jason had kind of a good call out on the page. You know, just at its widest, that fairway on 1 is still not that wide. And obviously you've got right and left out of bounds and some issues there. So I understand it, and I think depending on
I agree, Chris. I agree, Chris Espinoza. I mean, that's like for everyone, but the back tee box, and the back tee box could only be 3-wood or hybrid if you really wanted to, right? Depending on if you're worried about. I saw Stephen Evans comment about bouncing left into the hazard. Oh, there's your mini me. Hi, how are you?
You say hello.
Hello. I can see what Stephen Evans is talking about, how that can get away from you left, especially in the winter, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just hybrid 7-iron, is it not? Hybrid 7-iron? I mean,
when I think, you know, and you're talking number 1, correct?
No, number 7 there.
Number 7 still. I mean, I think 1 and 7. I mean, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if you play it a little bit further right? Okay, you do hit a little bit of a pull draw or something like that. If you're aiming far enough left, you should still be okay. And even if you play it right down the middle, block it right, you know, you've still got some open spots there.
That's what I agree with Chris Espinoza's comment. Just miss it right. I mean, just miss it right.
Or it's a driving iron or hybrid. And even then, depending on where the wind's at, I mean, you're going to have, you know, at worst, depending on how far you hit that, like let's just say you average 230 or something with your hybrid, you know, you're not even going to have 160 yards left. I mean, you should be, you know, depending on the conditions, which are probably going to be.
Well, from the back tee box, it's 430. It's 430 from the back tee box, so that's 280.
But you're still downhill, and depending on where the wind's at,
that's downhill, downwind,
sloping down. I think you'll get a little bit more run out, and the conditions are going to be we're going to be warmer. We're not really anticipating, I don't think, any rain. So I realistically, I think, you know, try and either throw something up high in the air and just let it carry, bounce out, or hit something, you know, and let it run. But I don't think 7 is the scariest tee shot, to be honest. If I'm going to have a stress.
Personally, I don't like the tee shot on hole number 6.
See, I think I don't think 7 it's a hard tee shot, but it never suited my eye.
I think 7 tee shot is much easier tee shot than 6 for whatever reason. And I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm fading the ball, right? I'm a right-handed player who fades the ball. So I'm fading the ball away from the water on 7, and I'm fading the ball away from the landing area on 6. So all of a sudden,
But now with all that stuff cut down, though, it should be a little less.
True that. That's absolutely. The trail did a ton of clearing there. So yes, I agree.
A little less frightful. I mean, I still personally, I think some of the toughest tee shots. I think number 10 is I don't even think it's a hard tee shot necessarily. I think 15. What am I thinking? Right, am I thinking 14?
14, the par
15,
4.
16, 17. 14, the par 5?
15's the par 5, the short par 5.
So then 14, the par 4. I think not
14,
that it's
the hole but 4, 15.
But I don't think I don't think it's a terribly hard tee shot. But I think what screws people up is how quick that fairway can be and how quickly you can run out of room in that fairway on that left side. I mean, when we played there during Monster Day, I mean, my entire group hit great tee shots, and we were all down there and all hitting shots with the ball in wacky spots in our feet.
I'm looking at the scorecard at Mission Del Lago right now. That's what I'm glancing over at here. And I'm looking at hole number 1's a 400-yard par 4. Number 2, there's out of bounds left, bunker right, creek in the middle there. Number 3 has creek layup. Number 4 has pond carry almost, right? Water up the whole right side. Number 6 is 420. Number 7 is 420. And number 9's not really an easy tee shot. So, I mean, I can get on board. I could get on board with anybody picking any hole on the front 9 at Mission Del Lago. I think.
I agree. And you know what? I argue that sometimes the course doesn't feel as – I mean, there are days when the wind is really blowing and it's one of those days where you're just into the wind on everything. That course is long. But on those calmer days, or if you got wind in your favor, the course doesn't feel overwhelmingly difficult. Other than the fact that you have to hit good position tee shots.
And I agree with the wind comment, but I also agree with a rough comment. When there's rough at Mission Del Lago becomes much more insane.
Oh yeah, and I still, like I said, I think it becomes a lot about how you're almost hitting shots. You have to, it's not just, I'm going to boot it out there to the middle of the fairway. You actually, I mean, I think there's a little bit, you have to have, especially at Mission, there's a little bit more strategy is into like where I'm going to land it and where I need this to finish at. I mean, because you can't play. I mean, there are certain shots. I mean, you can get blocked out pretty easy on a couple of those holes. Or, you know, if you're not wanting to take on one of those narrower, you know, bottlenecks, like if you look at 10, or if, you know, you want to look at, I mean, there's a couple of different holes out there, but that you have a smaller window to land, and you try to ease up on it. I mean, you can end up in some weird positions and block yourself out, give yourself kind of you can short side yourself and not have a lot of green to play with. That course can get, it can overtake you pretty easily. But
I agree. I'm really excited to compare Mission Del Lago to our experience earlier in the year at Northern Hills. We were talking about this in our pre-show warm-up, where if you would have asked everybody what's the toughest course so far in the tour in the last year, not one person would have said Northern Hills, but it is. So I'm really curious to
other than Jason Bird, because he knows the analytics.
Yes. And he would have been like, Northern Hills in this order, blah, blah, blah. You know, but I'm really excited to go to Mission. I think Mission is so underrated. I hate when people say Mission so far. It's only 5 minutes past Riverside.
It's not that much further.
It's really not.
And to be honest, I think a lot of people just kind of, I think it slides more being underrated because of previous year's conditions. But if you look at what they've done there over the last 12 months or so, the course itself is it's like Northern Hills to me. It's one of those courses where it's like, it's Northern Hills. I never really thought about Northern Hills, but now I'm sitting there thinking like, you know what, if I wanted to go have a tournament right now, I'd probably want to go play Northern Hills because it's typically been in great shape the last 12 months. It plays a lot more challenging. Greens are always good, but then we've gotten Mission now. We've played a few tournaments out there, and every single time we've played, it's been
good. Yes, it's been.
They've done a great job.
Like to the point where it's like, man, this is pretty good. This isn't just good for Mission anymore, right?
This is good for good.
Is actually good, and I think that's really cool. And this weekend at Mission, it's the halfway point on the spring season. Can you believe that? I mean, that's insane. This is event number 5 that we're going into at Mission Del Lago, individual stroke play. And we've got back-to-back individual stroke plays here coming up in the month of March.
At 2 challenging golf courses.
Yeah, the month of March is really going to start to separate those point standings. So, really, I mean, we're halfway through. It's time to show up and post some good scores. I'm really glad we pulled the trigger and moved from Willow to Mission. Yeah. I love Clint, the GM at Mission Del Lago, goes above and beyond for the tour. Super good dude. He was on the show earlier this year. Maybe the week before Monster Day, Clint was on the show.
It was the week leading up to Monster Day, yeah.
Yeah. He's really talked to him a couple times this week. He's excited to have us back. I'm glad we made that decision. That is, yeah. I mean, we try to talk about from an operator perspective sometimes, right? And that day when you're trying to make that decision, like, man, am I going to go away from Willow? We're going to go to Mission. And then how's it going to be at Mission? Are we going to lose people because we're going to Mission? Do we gain people because we were at Willow? Like, that is a really anxiety-filled decision. And it feels like the right one so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the nice thing is that, one, it's one thing to just say, hey guys, we're going to Mission, but to be able to sit there and be like, hey guys, it's because the product is better. We want to give you the better experience. But then also just knowing in general, like, we've had the opportunity to go play Mission. And we know that Mission right now is maybe one of the in best shape out of any of the tour, any of the trail courses at the moment.
It is certainly right there. I've heard tons of good things. If you just look in the comments right here, Espinoza was out there last week. Fairways are quick. Approaches are tough. Greens are rolling. So I'm really, really excited. Great shape when we played last Sunday. Yep. From Greg Graff, Ambassador Greg Graff. I like that. That is currently in 14th place in the point standings. Greg Graff just happened to have that graphic up. We were talking about the point standings separating, and back-to-back stroke play events halfway through the season. It's time, right?
And go look at the, I definitely think we're starting to really see it get tighter and tighter in the flights. Just as I pulled up the flights, I was looking through just the names, looking through the list, looking through, I sat there, I'm looking at first flight and I'm like, I kind of recognize some of the names, but I also sat there, I'm like, I would say 75% of these names, I don't really know. I don't know these people all that well. And I'm like,
we were working on the pairings for the first noticed players. First noticed players went out last week, Saturday. To get pairings and tee times 8 days in advance in the golf tournament business world is amazing. That's awesome.
How nice is that compared to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when it's like, MD, it's Thursday night and I got to get pairings and all this stuff out tonight. Like,
it definitely allows me to plan better, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, 100%. And it allows us to stress the importance of registering early. And it's 100% positive from every angle.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right. Thursday night, closing an event, making notice to players and pairings and flights and communications and withdrawals and drop ads. There's a lot going on during the week. So it really is something special to get it out 8 days in advance.
And it's even nicer when it's sold out 3 weeks or 4 weeks in advance.
Yes.
Get to that point.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. It's 100% positive from every perspective. But we were there doing the flights, and something like second flight is separated by 2.2 strokes or something like that. I don't have the specific data right in front of me, but those middle flights are so compacted, competing against light golfers, that it's so cool. It's so awesome.
It was like 2 points. It might have been 2.4, 2.5 in first flight. I think it was like about 2.1 or 2.2 in second flight. Like, I mean, those flights are really, really tight. And we got a bunch of new golfers playing, which is awesome. Like, I mean, I'm looking through the list and I'm kind of like, where are the people I'm used to seeing in this flight that I know should be here, but they're not.
It's really cool to bring first-time tour golfers to Mission for the first time too.
It's such a good experience.
Yeah, it really is. It's a really good tournament facility, driving range there, food and beverage there. Food and beverage is fantastic. Great, right? It's fantastic. Really good. It's a good, solid golf course. It is a good clubhouse for scoring and tournament operations. The merchandise tent will return at Mission Del Lago with some limited edition apparel this coming weekend at Mission. So really excited for that.
Yeah, some really cool stuff there.
So yeah, you saw some pictures yesterday. Some really cool stuff coming out. I got a sublimation printer and it's awesome.
We're just having fun with that now.
Yeah, it's really cool actually. That's I don't know if you can see behind me. That's actually a photo on a T-shirt. So I mean, it's actually some pretty cool stuff.
Was the that shirt I was wearing last week was one of them too, right?
The shirt you had
the white shirt with the armadillo on it.
Yeah,
that was a sublimation one.
Yes, right? Yeah, that was a sublimation logo on a polo shirt. Yep. Yes, that'll be there as well. Which I think is really cool. I mean, I'm stretching here a little bit, but sometimes that logo on the chest rubs a little weird from the embroidery, and sublimation completely takes that patch feel out of it. And it's a totally unique look, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, they're good looking stuff. So obviously Mission Del Lago this weekend, super exciting. Let's talk about here in the closing couple of minutes. Let's talk about what is coming up. I know we're excited to get to Mission Del Lago. Obviously, it's a fun golf course. We enjoy playing there. Coming up on 3/25, finishing up our month of March, individual stroke play at Almost Basin. I've heard good things about the conditions there and seen a lot of good stuff, a lot of pictures and stuff like that. And that is, of course, always a fun track to go out and play.
And double points. So event number 6, Almost Basin, open for registration. Still some spots left, but it is going to sell. It will sell out.
I think we have less than 20 spots, right?
I think it's really close to 20. If it doesn't sell out before, it will sell out this Sunday when the committees are talking to golfers at Mission Del Lago at the scoring area. So don't delay. Get up on that. That event is double points. It is labeled single points on the website. That is a double point event. That is Saturday, March the 25th at Almost Basin. Individual stroke play, double points. And then here's the big news for tonight, and it'll come out in a newsletter later this week, and it'll be on Facebook tonight or tomorrow, MD, I'm sure.
It'll be first thing tomorrow.
But the event number 7, Sunday, April the 16th, Brackenridge Park, our return to Brackenridge Park. Thank you, Scott Williams. Plug that. That's awesome. Thank you. The return to Brackenridge Park for the 2023 season is open for registration. This is a best ball 2-person event. Brackenridge Park, April the 16th. stxamtour.golf to sign up. MD will have that scrolling across the bottom here by the end of the show, I'm sure. I
am super excited for Brack. I just feel like I haven't played Brackenridge in forever. I mean, I have not played it since second round or
October. October. The third week of October was the last time we were there. Yeah. So 5 months ago. It's been 5 months since we were at Brack. Just under 5 months since we were at Brack. And before that, we moved the Masters to Almost Basin, and it just feels like it's been almost Basin for the last year. Almost. Yeah. Man, 11 tongue twisters here. Twisters, 905 tongue twisters.
Getting back to Brack is going to be good. I'm looking forward to just absolutely ruining friendships at Alt Shot at Cedar. Like that's going to be amazing. Like I mean, I love playing. Don't get me wrong. I love Almost. I love Mission. I love Northern. But I am excited to get back to Brack and get back to Cedar. And as those courses start coming back for us.
I really like this spring schedule. We've had good course conditions, good winter course conditions, good winter courses, a good mix of events. Jason Cross played Brack last week. Great shape. 3 exclamation points
for it.
But I agree with you. I'm ready to go back to Brack. Everyone knows I started my career at San Pedro, but Brackenridge Park was the first golf course I had professional at. I was, at San Pedro before I moved to Brackenridge Park, but Brackenridge Park was my first golf course head professional position. And there's something about that building and that fireplace
and that
pro shop.
There's something about, I love going to all these courses, but there is something about walking into Brack, walking onto that first tee box, being able to look around and just see, the beautiful golf course itself, the big trees. You can see everyone kind of rolling through and playing. And I mean, it has a different feel to it. It always has. And I absolutely love it. I mean, absolutely right on.
Yeah. There's something about the square greens and Brackenridge Park. There's a couple typos right there, Scott. We'll let that slip.
A few.
That's okay.
Having a midnight cap.
Brackenridge Park was the first golf course Scott Williams ever played. He left off the year in that statement. So I mean, it could be anywhere from the first Texas Open till to now.
19.
19. Oh, he's using the voice thing. He's talk to texting.
Oh, talk to texting.
He's talk to texting. That's Scotty Williams, everybody. We love you. But you're right. Brackenridge Park is so cool. And I'm a big history buff on that stuff. Like I love the Borglum studio, the building next to Brackenridge Park. That was an old indoor plumbing pump house for City of San Antonio water systems for a long time. I love the old bridges. I love talking about where holes used to be and middle Brack and old Brack and new Brack. It's just something about going back to Brackenridge Park. That's awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
1952, Greg Graff guesses.
1952. And then, I mean...
That's a good Facebook poll. What year did Scott Williams first play Brackenridge Park? I mean, that's a great open answer Facebook poll.
Scott Williams, be prepared. Do not tell anyone.
Yeah,
we are going to post that.
Be prepared, Scott Williams, to get your feelings hurt for sure.
Just a little bit. Scotty Williams, I need you to email us or send us a message on Facebook. Or I'll go find a picture of you, and I'm going to post what year did this man first play Brack. That's what we're doing.
Oh, man, I love it. I'm so glad we're on the show tonight. But, yes, everybody, event number 7, Sunday, April 16th, Brackenridge Park, 2-person best ball, open for registrations, stxamtour.golf. That is going to scroll across your screen right there, open for registration as of today. I want to say limited availability already, but that's not true, but it will be soon. Go ahead. Don't delay. 2-person best ball at Brackenridge Park. That is double points as well. So we've got back-to-back double points events on the schedule coming up following Mission Del Lago. We're in the meat and potatoes of the spring Alamo City Golf Trail division on the South Texas Amateur Golf Tour.
And Travis, with that being said about Brack, are we wanting to tease that next thing for Brack a little bit?
I think so. I think this is a really cool thing that I've wanted to do for a really long time. And our hope is to have it launching at the April 16th Brackenridge Park event. But the South Texas Amateur Golf Tour is proud, and we're very, very, very close to launching it. It should go in the newsletter next week. Really, really excited to launch a professional division. It is coming in conjunction with the South Texas Amateur Golf Tour. The South Texas Professional Golf Division is a professional division being added to the events of the regular STX Am Tour. This division is for playing, teaching, and other golf professionals. As a PGA professional in South Texas, it's difficult to break away from golf operations and play in golf competitions, especially when they're in Austin or in Houston or multiple days.
Yeah.
So really, really excited to provide this this new niche to our brand. I'm not sure if Tiger will be playing.
I sent a Instagram DM. I have not heard back yet, but I've sent it to a lot of players.
But we want to give a place where assistant golf professionals standing behind golf counters all week long can come play on the weekends in a one-day event with a small field and give and have big purses. Really excited to write 4-digit checks to local golf professionals. Growing the game in San Antonio is the goal, and South Texas. Growing the game in South Texas is the goal. And if the tour and the professional division can attract teaching pros and playing professionals and PGA professionals from across the region and take the tour back to their clubhouses, it only grows the game in our region on an amateur tournament level. And really, really excited for that. It's something I've wanted to do for a really long time, and I'm really excited for it.
It's gonna be really cool. Excited to get that officially open. We'll be.
It has a logo. It has a logo now. That's really cool. I'm super excited about that. The web page is there. It's being updated in real time as we go. MD and I worked real hard over the last couple months putting together the schedule, how we're going to handle pairings and golf carts and tax forms. There's so much to talk about when you get into a niche like that. So it's finally coming to fruition. So everybody watching, go home, tell your PGA pro or your teaching pro or your club pro that the professional golf division of the South Texas Amateur Golf Tour is coming.
Yep. We'll be hitting the pavement pretty hard with it. And obviously we have a lot of friends between Austin and San Antonio that we know are in the golf industry that we know they want to play. We know that they want a place to go play and try and make some good money for one day's work.
I agree. I agree that it's a really, really cool model. And I'll tell you what, the dozen or so people that I vetted it through over the last 6 months while putting it together kind of gave some raised eyebrows when we started talking about purses and things like that. So I know there's a lot of excitement. And sorry, I'm getting distracted by Greg Grass comment. I guess I'm squirrel. Yeah, exactly.
I told you I've got a couple of guys up in Austin that are interested in it too. That are, they're itching to play some golf and want to be able to play some more competitive golf at that level. And it's not something that is just regularly available to them. It's such a niche thing that's been carved out here that I think it's gonna be really fun. I think it's gonna be really cool.
And I want to make it perfectly clear before Greg Graff asks this question. This will not take away from field sizes on the Alamo City Golf Trail division of the South Texas Amateur Golf Tour. That is the main tour tournament schedule. This will not take away from field sizes at all and only enhance them.
Yes. let's make that abundantly clear.
Yeah,
It does
100%.
not. And I mean, to be honest, and I think we've talked about it. I don't know if we've settled on a number or what that'll really look like. But I mean, I would anticipate as we roll into the longer hours of the day and stuff like that, we're going to see field sizes actually grow.
I agree, especially for the individual stroke play events.
Yeah.
Individual stroke play at Willow, selling out 3 weeks in advance. Willow moving to Mission. Sorry there. Individual stroke play at Almost Basin, only 20 spots left, 3 weeks in advance. And then combine that with the pro division in conjunction, and we'll see field sizes of 160 pushing 180 into the core summer months.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's insane. It's going to be those summer months with getting all that sunlight back. I mean, it's always cool, to an extent to see like, oh, hey, we've got this waiting list that's 15, 20 deep or something like that. But it also sucks because it's like, we want you to be able to play. It'll be great when we can actually say, okay, we're not going to be fighting for sunlight.
I know it was so cool to be able to look at the wait list for Mission Del Lago this past weekend while doing the notice and being like, oh, hey, man, I can sneak in 3 or 4 more tee times right now.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to answer this question for Greg Graff real quick, or if we want to hold off on diving deeper into this stuff.
I don't have an answer to that, Greg Graff, at this current time. I would love to say that it's going to rotate. It probably won't initially. Maybe beforehand, maybe afterwards on the bookends. Typically, I don't have a good typically answer to give you there at this point in time yet, but I appreciate the enthusiasm to spectate for that. And that would be the hope, right? That would be the hope that all of a sudden there's 30 or 40 South Texas amateur tour golfers there, all of a sudden clapping on the first tee box, and the tournament atmosphere elevates even more. I think that's really cool.
I mean, we're 2 years away from building a stadium.
I love stadiums.
We're gonna set it up on 18 and just big section at Brack.
Grandstands. Yeah, I love it.
Grandstands at Brack, and it's gonna be a party.
I'll tell you what. Over the course of my career at Brack, I would have loved to hold a real VTO Pro-Am at Brack. I think that would have been really cool. That'd be a lot of fun. Well, Trav, I think that pretty much covers everything we had tonight. I think we went a little longer than we planned, but absolutely worth it. Lots of good stuff to talk about. Yeah. Anytime we can talk about Mission Del Lago and the course conditions being like good, I think that's really cool.
I'll take it.
Opening the next event, I think that's really cool. I love when that happens. Best ball at Brackenridge Park, April 16th, open for registration, website updated. MD will have that on Facebook momentarily here, I'm sure. And then we got to talk about the professional division for just a second. So really cool. Really looking forward to that.
Yep, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Excited to get out there this weekend, play some golf. Weather conditions are shaping up to be pretty damn good. It's going to be Mission Del Lago. We know it's going to be a little bit tougher course in general, but conditions, atmosphere, the whole thing is going to be great. Excited to see everyone out there. If you see me, if you see Travis, if you see one of the boys here from the Power Hour, come say hi, come talk to us. Don't come up if you have anything that critiques what we do, but if you have nice things to say, we'd love to hear it. And I mean, I'm excited. I'm ready to play some golf. Like I'm itching to go play some golf. I didn't get to play golf last weekend, so I'm like.
And I'll tell you what, back-to-back off weekends kind of have.
When was the last time you did that?
Yeah. Me playing on back-to-back off weekends, that's crazy.
I can't even imagine.
I haven't played multiple rounds of golf in a month since last year in September when we went to Colorado for a weekend. That was the last time I played multiple rounds in a month. And I can't tell you the last time I played back-to-back weekends like that. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun to play good. It's fun to get out there and practice. It's fun with the paradigm. I love it. Really excited about that. I'll easy on the Callaway commercial. Sorry. And looking forward to just getting back into the swing of things. Can't wait to see everybody out at Mission Del Lago. Register for the next event. Everybody, thanks for watching. We'll let you get back to your Tuesday night in just under 1 hour. That makes up for last week's 2-hour show. I feel really good about that. MD, thank you so much for being here, and take us away, bud.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys, as always, tuning in. We love hearing from you. Love hearing what your thoughts are. We love getting to talk to you guys about the thing that we're passionate about most, being the South Texas Amateur Golf Tour and golf itself. Guys, excited to see you this Sunday, the 12th, Mission Del Lago, individual stroke play. Let's get at it. Y'all have a good week. We will see you bright and early Sunday morning. Let's go.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.